Hello dear lovely audience, welcome back to another reality TV new recap. Everyone, I know y'all have been waiting for this. Thank you guys so much for your patience. News has come out that members of television personality Steve Harvey's family faced an emergency situation. Reports have come out concerning his son and daughter-in-law in connection to drug use. In one incident, police reportedly arrived at their home due to an emergency call. Since then, an inside source has weighed in on Steve's own reaction to the situation. The incident took place at a vacation rental in Jupiter, Florida. Harvey is an actor, comedian, and television personality. For many, he is known for hosting the game show, Family Feud. In his personal life, Harvey has also been married 3 times. He has 7 children, including 4 biological children and 3 stepchildren. According to Radar Online, police recently responded to an emergency call to a vacation rental house involving Jason Harvey and his wife, Amanda. The incident took place in Jupiter, Florida. Police reports claimed that the couple claimed to police that they both ingested a large amount of psychedelic shrooms, called Enigma, on October 21, 2024. The rental, described by the outlet as an Airbnb drug house, was rented in Jason's name. Jason's wife and another woman were reportedly found, raving and partially clad. This was what allegedly caused Jason to call for help. Police reports claimed that Amanda also vomited while she was partially conscious. Police body camera footage showed 4 police SUVs approaching the house. At one point, a woman could be heard screaming from inside the house. Jason was quoted as telling cops, "My wife needs medical attention." An officer asked what she was on, to which Jason responded, "Mushrooms." An inside source later shared Steve's reaction to the story. One cop could also be heard describing the residence as a big drug house. A woman could also be heard being asked if she was all right. Claiming she had taken Enigma, she responded, "My body is dying." Another woman was reportedly found, naked and nearly unconscious, in the house, near the front door. Later, a woman could be heard saying, help me, and, "No." Later footage showed a woman being carried out on a gurney. Both women were later transported to a nearby hospital. The publication also described Steve's reaction to the story. It was reported that he was mad as hell at his son Jason. However, he was relieved that he and Amanda survived the incident. According to a source, Steve's first reaction was anger, given Jason and Amanda are the parents of 4 young children, his grandkids. But that's given way to gratitude. They're okay after a crisis that could have been far worse. The insider added, "That's the thing Steve is really angry about. You can live wildly until you have kids, but you need to leave those risks behind when you start a family." He realizes everyone makes mistakes. But he just hopes they learn from this incident and that something like this never, ever happens again. Jason and Amanda were not charged concerning the incident. Sources also claimed that none of their 4 kids were present during the ordeal. The second woman also survived and wasn't charged. Title: 911 called. Steve Harvey's son overdosed on drugs in Florida. It was a humid September evening in Miami Beach, and the neon haze of Ocean Drive lit up the sidewalk like a nightclub runway. Tourists bustled outside the iconic Clevelander Hotel, unaware that just blocks away, in a luxury high-rise condo overlooking Biscayne Bay, chaos had erupted behind closed doors. 9:41 p.m. The 911 call. 911, what's your emergency? The voice on the other end was shaky, urgent. My friend, he's not breathing. He took something, I think. Please, we need help now. The dispatcher tried to maintain composure. Sir, I need an address. It's 4700 Collins Avenue, Penthouse 4. Please hurry. He's turning blue. Paramedics were dispatched within moments. The name attached to the residence immediately flagged attention. Penthouse 4 was rented under Wynton Harvey, the 27-year-old son of television mogul and comedian Steve Harvey. Earlier that day, Wynton Harvey had arrived in Miami 2 days earlier with friends. Known for his quiet demeanor and preference to stay out of the spotlight, Wynton had nonetheless grown up surrounded by fame, pressure, and expectations. He had dabbled in fashion photography and entrepreneurship, but insiders close to the family whispered that he had been struggling silently for years. Wynton was Steve's only son with his second wife, Mary Shackelford. While the Harvey brand flourished, from Family Feud 2. The Steve Harvey Morning Show. Winton, in contrast, had lived in shadows, often appearing in social media posts but never seeking public attention. Friends said this Miami trip was meant to be a celebration. Just a break, a way to unwind. But beneath the surface, Winton had been quietly battling his demons, pressures of legacy, anxiety, and perhaps, a search for meaning in a world built by someone else's fame. The overdose. As the sun set over the skyline, the party inside the penthouse had grown hazy. Witnesses later recounted a mix of champagne, designer drugs, and prescription pills circulating among guests. No one noticed when Winton slipped into the master bedroom. By the time a friend found him, his breathing was shallow. His lips were turning purple. Panic set in. No one knew exactly what he had taken. Someone guessed fentanyl might have been laced in one of the pills. A deadly dose. The party turned into a nightmare. Sirens echoed in the distance as the reality set in. Winton Harvey, the son of one of America's most recognizable entertainers, had just overdosed. Steve Harvey's reaction. When the news reached Steve Harvey, he was backstage at the taping of a charity special in Atlanta. A production assistant pulled him aside mid-segment. At first, he thought it was a joke. Then he saw the look on his team's faces. Steve collapsed into a chair, hands on his head. For a man who had built an empire on humor, family values, and faith, this moment hit like a freight train. "Is he alive?" was all he asked. The hospital. Winton was rushed to Mount Sinai Medical Center. Paramedics administered naloxone, a medication used to reverse opioid overdoses, during the ride. His pulse was faint, but there. By the time he reached the a trauma team was waiting. Steve Harvey flew into Miami just after midnight. Paparazzi caught a blurry image of him in sunglasses, flanked by security and visibly shaken. Family members followed. Marjorie Harvey, Steve's current wife, and Lori Harvey, Winton's stepsister. There were no public statements. Only silence and a waiting room filled with prayer and dread. Media frenzy. By the next morning, TMZ had leaked the 911 call. The headline splashed across social media. Steve Harvey's son hospitalized in suspected drug overdose. Speculation ran wild. Was this a cry for help? Had Winton been battling addiction for years? Was it accidental? Some commentators leapt to judge, others called for compassion. The Harvey family remained quiet. Steve, who had always been vocal about responsibility and fatherhood, now faced the harsh spotlight of personal crisis. But this wasn't a scripted segment or a made-for-TV redemption arc. This was raw, real, and deeply human. 2 days later, a statement. On the second day of Winton's hospitalization, the Harvey family released a brief statement through a spokesperson. "Our family is facing a deeply personal and painful situation. We ask for privacy as we navigate this time together. We are grateful for the outpouring of support and for the medical professionals caring for Winton. Please keep him in your prayers." Steve Harvey himself went silent on social media. No jokes, no inspirational quotes, just absence, recovery and reflection. Miraculously, Winton survived. Doctors said he was lucky. Had the call been made just 5 minutes later, he might not have made it. The weeks that followed were filled with recovery and rehabilitation. Winton entered a discreet rehab facility in Arizona, far from cameras and headlines. According to close friends, the incident was a turning point for him. For Steve, it was a wake-up call. Not about his parenting, but about the hidden pain even the most privileged can carry. In a rare interview weeks later, he opened up. "I always thought love and opportunity would be enough. But sometimes our kids carry weights we can't see." Winton didn't do anything wrong. He got caught in a moment, a bad choice, like so many others. But by God's grace, we got another chance. A larger conversation. Winton's overdose sparked a national conversation about mental health and drug use among children of celebrities, those raised in fame but often deprived of normalcy. Celebrities like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Jada Pinkett Smith, and even Oprah spoke publicly in support of the Harveys. Quietly, other families reached out, sharing similar stories. In time, Winton reemerged, not on a red carpet, but at a youth summit on addiction and recovery. He spoke softly but powerfully. "I overdosed because I was trying to numb pain I didn't know how to face. I'm not ashamed, I'm alive. And that means I have a responsibility now, to help someone else live too."